Hey guys, and welcome to the Highlight House. Today we're going to be breaking down college basketball's top conferences. Now of course we're going to take a look at the ACC, the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and Pac-12, but we're also going to look at the Big East. Thus far these conferences have enjoyed more or less a cakewalk for the first couple of months. Most teams schedule easy non-conference games with just a couple of ranked opponents. As a result, they have seen all relative success in terms of wins, with all win percentages around 75%. But when we break this stat down to include just games against other top 6 conferences, then a different picture is painted. Immediately it becomes clear which conferences are leading the way and which are straggling behind. Looking at you, SEC. In today's video, we're going to take a look at each conference individually and the top teams from across the nation. Going into the season, the ACC was projected as the runaway favorite, boasting perennial powerhouses Duke, Virginia, North Carolina, and Louisville. These teams have all faced early success this year, with a combined record of 39-5, but when it matters most, they've actually fallen short. Excluding Louisville, Duke, UVA, and UNC are combined 1-4 against teams currently ranked in the top 25. The Cardinals, on the other hand, are 2-1 with a tight 3-point loss to Baylor, and 2 impressive wins over Purdue and Kentucky. They've looked as good as anyone thus far. If the ACC's strength does not lie in these top teams, then it certainly comes from their depth. They boast 6 teams in the current top 25 and 139 total wins, the most of any conference. Dark horses Notre Dame and Florida State could cause some issues down the road. Now we're heading on over to the Deep South and football powerhouse SEC. The Southeastern Conference's strength lies entirely on the Kentucky Wildcats, led by freshman Malik Monk, who averages 21.9 points per game and boasts a 50.3 field goal percentage. The Wildcats suffered 2 tragic losses by combined 8 points to UCLA and Louisville, but they did edge North Carolina 103-100. Kentucky is still definitely one of the top favorites come March, but there's really no depth to this conference. Florida was a hopeful contender, but 3 quick losses to Gonzaga, Duke, and Florida State make me question their legitimacy. South Carolina started hot with 8 straight wins, but have since stumbled, losing 2 of their last 3. If the SEC ever wants to make a name as a basketball conference, they're going to need more than just Kentucky. Next up is the Big 10. There's a lot of hope for several Big 10 teams coming into this year. Wisconsin and Indiana are near perennial title contenders, but both have struggled this season with 2 losses each. Wisconsin was blown out 71-56 by North Carolina, and Indiana inexcusably lost to the Mastodons at Fort Wayne. That being said, Indiana does hold 2 more key wins over Kansas and North Carolina, but the Hoosiers' inconsistency could be a worry come March. Another 2-loss Big 10 team is Purdue. The Boilermakers lost to number 1 Villanova and number 10 Louisville by a combined 10 points, but they managed to edge Notre Dame late. This team's ability to keep big games close and blow out lesser opponents gives them a killer edge that makes them a huge threat. The Big 12 is absolutely thriving this year, boasting 3 teams in the top 11 and the highest win percentage of 82%. Kansas lost their opener against Indiana, but rebounded quickly with a win against Duke. The West Virginia Mountaineers have abused opponents on the court, forcing a league-best 13.64 steals per game. They have also recorded an impressive win over UVA. Yet neither of these teams could hold a light to what Baylor has done this season. The Bears embarrassed Oregon with a 66-49 thrashing and came away with a 66-63 win over Louisville. Their defense is dominating, allowing just 58.7 points per game, tied 9th in the league. I would be shocked if none of these teams made the Final Four. Now coming to the Pac-12, perhaps one of the most surprising teams this year is UCLA. UCLA leads the league with 23.6 assists per game and is second in points per game at 95.8. After a 97-92 win over the then number 1 Kentucky Wildcats, the Bruins jumped all the way to number 2 in the AP rankings, where they remain today. The rest of the Pac-12 has been a bit disappointing, with both Oregon and Arizona losing their preseason top 10 rankings. Both teams hold 2 losses and are looking to bounce back from conference play. Finally, we come to the Big East. This conference isn't quite the same as it was back in the early 2000s, but it still holds the claim as one of the strongest conferences, with 2 undefeated teams in Villanova and Creighton, closely followed by a 1-loss Butler. Villanova is the number 1 team in the country, and as a frontcourt that can drive it to the bucket or kick it out and hurt you from deep. They are the real deal. The Big East might surprise some people this year, as they currently hold the best record against Power 5 schools at 26-15. But the one glaring blemish of this conference is its lack of depth. The top 5 teams in the league have all shown they can challenge anybody in a power conference, but the bottom 5 teams, well, they don't belong in a power conference at all. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of College Basketball Breakdown. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below with who you think is the strongest conference and your early prediction for March Madness. I'll see you next time.